Okay. Okay, so we're playing Spider-Man Remastered. Spider-Man Remastered. Let me delete that. Hey there.
If we do this skill so rare, no one else can do it, we get a point. But if anyone else can do it, we don't get a point.
Okay, we're gonna start. Soon we're gonna start.
You got this. Do your best try. And now stand up. Put your feet flat. Stand up.
That's where we're gonna start right now. Okay, friendly neighborhood. Start. Okay.
I think you get a point for that trick. My trick is the powder. That is such a pretty trick. You want to try it again? I know you like back bends, right? I think you're doing it the hard way. Yeah, that looks way harder. That didn't count, so Margetta, you get a point if Anna can't do this. I'm sorry, Margetta, I think I can do this skill. So I think you're up to a skill that's even more rare now.
There's no way the guys can do it because basically now anyone knows gymnastics does this move. It's easy, it's simple on the floor.
I think you should go first. Alright. Start like this, and then... This looks like the Olympics breakdancing. Honestly, I feel like that was really close, but I'm gonna have to...
Rhinos Rampage.
I'm gonna try my best to get it. How do you even do this? I feel like this takes so much arm strength. You like go like this?
All units, level 4 mobilization. Location, Fisk Tower.
And you get a point.
Fisk.
Fisk.
Hopefully I can get through on Fisk. My rare skill is the full twisting back handspring. I'll try it, but that is actually crazy. And it is so close. You get a half or better than full. I didn't even know how you did. That was a really cool skill. It's very confusing.
Just don't loading. Let's do.
SWAT is 1084th Fisk Tower. All units stand by. Launch
Okay.
is en route.
On my way. I was just gonna get really far because I got confused, but I'm playing it again. I am gonna play on Spider-Man Miles Morales again.
Did you take him down yet?
No, we're at Fisk Tower, but still waiting on the warrant.
Mind if I join in on the fun?
You know how his lawyers are. This one needs to go by the book.
Come on, Yuri. I've been waiting 8 years for this.
You really want to help? Head to Times Square. Sounds like his guys are trying to keep my backup from reaching the scene.
You got it. Almost there.
Hey, go there.
Hello?
Parker, where are you? We must run through the demonstration at least once before the grant committee arrives.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. I'm dealing with a personal issue. I'll be in soon. Promise. Better wrap this up quick than get to my real job. Yuri called in the cavalry.
Okay, you there?
We need more backup!
up. 1032, Times Square. Officers under fire. Bring in the hammer.
One lady in charge of workforce or something, the superintendent, Kim, who's the financial chief person,
Oh.
they go on there, the first lady, Alicia, came in, they gave, had her go over her menu that she created, and all the questions, blah, blah, blah. She did really well. And then,
Morning, guys. Who's ready for their hot, fresh cup of bodily harm?
yeah. She left, and
Gotta warn you, I'm feeling punchy today. Get behind me!
Okay.
She was dressed, she had dress pants on.
Somebody just shoot him!
Dress shoes, like
Man, Fisk has a lot of guys in his payroll.
like it was a wavy sleeve. Well, it wasn't the blouse.
Spider-Man, what's your status?
Almost done here. You?
We're about to go in.
Be there soon.
Hey.
Can't wait to see Willie's face when you slap the cuffs on him.
That, he liked her, like, he couldn't get over her.
Okay, you got that?
Okay, Yuri, all done. What's happening?
He was so distracted by her
Yuri?
outfit.
Yuri!
Like, she dressed like
I knew Fisk wouldn't go quietly.
The lower shorts and a tank top, like, she was dressed in a nice, casual way. Like, I didn't feel like she was overdressed.
Okay, you gotta get over there. Okay, Fisk Tower.
Get more backup. And lock down the airspace.
Yuri, you okay?
He makes it out of that building, we're gonna lose him.
I'm gonna go,
Do your thing.
Ease the day, Willie. Heads up. Hey, where you going?
Yeah.
Hey! On clear path. Follow me.
Get out of here, Spider-Man. We got this.
I can't remember. But they, like, she had a problem with the way she didn't, like, pay attention to that kind of
Okay.
error. And I'm like, dude.
Sorry to break it to you, but you do not got this, buddy.
Yeah, and
Thanks for the confidence,
not all
boost,
of
guys.
them, but they were very pretty. And she did know what she was talking about. I mean, she explained everything.
You got that?
Call a hostile workplace.
She worked with Cisco, which is one of the vendors.
Break them down already.
And then, she was a chef, so she was local. She's on the borderline of Burnsville and Hamburg, or
Got that?
and her kid is like sick, so she was, I guess, a stay-at-home mom. And now
Yeah, and then press down to heal. Okay.
to get back into it, so I guess it's a good choice.
Gotta take these shooters out.
Okay, you got that?
Well, she got vibes off of the situation. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what she's running at that, but
I think that's all of them.
But then Andrea came,
Come on.
which Andrea is the secretary of the super.
Shut the elevators down. Take the stairs.
I prefer a more direct approach.
I think so. I don't know for sure, but I think she's making more money. I could be wrong, but
Spider-Man, status.
Heading to the upper floors. Hoping nobody turns
Too
out the
long
elevator.
behind.
Our choppers are taking fire. Looks like Fisk has armed men on every floor.
He's desperate.
And he's hitting us with everything he's got.
I have to find him and end this.
Not yet. We just picked up chatter. They're wiping all their data servers. We need that evidence if we want to put him away for good.
Okay, server room it is. Call from May. Better answer. Hi, Aunt May.
What is all that noise?
Watching a superhero movie. What's up?
I just wanted to make sure we still have for dinner tomorrow night.
Totally. I gotta go.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
That didn't make me impressed because she had.
Shut the hell up!
Okay, do that.
To me, she used her job to do
How exactly do you think this ends well for you?
But she did all that. She did her menu.
On to the next one.
She next wanted
Regret your life choices yet?
home described.
Wait, what? That was a slow reaction.
Not necessarily, but her.
Gotta find
Alright,
the
Kate.
room before there's no evidence left.
It was a lot. It was. I'm trying to remember. It was like one day it was like a chicken
If I
leg.
go in this way, they'll destroy all the evidence.
Sweet potato
I
fries.
should look for a sneaky way in.
Um,
There we go.
and then the other time was like a baked potato.
Yeah.
A lot of that was for the high school, middle school, and then the elementary was a little bit more simpler. But
Why is...
it was a lot. It was a lot of prepping, and a lot of it was stuff that we don't get. Like we get stuff from
Yep.
the government, and a
Hi,
lot
Logan.
of that stuff we have to use and make it.
It's like my own private vengeance.
None of the stuff that she provided was that stuff. It was
This may be a
all
dirty
stuff she
criminal,
had to
but he
buy.
has remarkably clean evidence.
Hurry up. The boss wants everything erased.
It's my game channels. Oh.
Is this tech support? I forgot my password.
Hey.
See just how good their security is. Oh, you guys forgot the latest kernel patch. Says the guy frantically erasing his search history. True, but that's part of my charm, isn't it?
She did say she would do Andrea.
Get that door down now!
I keep hearing you comment about her food. And the scratch cookie is
Get past her. Destroy everything.
But you're making it know what happened.
Look around you. I did this. What have you ever done with math?
Well, there was that time I took down
Okay.
the office over
Stop calling me these
before
names.
breakfast.
Yeah, it's not perfect. But it's
Just call me Kenneth.
Captain Chet will run rampant.
Oh my god.
Your fault.
like the cereal. Like when they together.
A long, tough road, Fisk. Almost sad to see it end.
Do that.
Get ready for the main event. Yuri, an explosion just...
I saw it.
No, I'm not trying to say that. I just think we should be serving
Oh.
better. Maybe trying to give them more options that are healthy. And
I think that's all of them.
We got that.
Clear. Move up.
Hey guys, I guess bombs are part of Willie's getaway plan? Sounds like they're trapped.
You go after them. We'll look for the bombs.
Everyone clear out! Evacuate the building!
You go over
I'll
there.
find them.
Spider-Man! We can't move! We're pinned down!
lift. When you're free, get out fast. If you can walk, help the injured. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, Willie. Coming your way.
Move towards this
Spider-Man, it's Yuri.
office.
How we doing, Captain?
Could be better. Our choppers took a beating. We just had to
There.
ground our last one. If Fist calls in a chopper, we have no one to stop it from landing.
And no one to chase him if he flies away.
Why do I get the feeling that's what he was planning all along?
Because he probably was.
You get down there.
Damn. Yuri, get EMTs up here, fast!
We're trying.
Which is why so many families miss out. If you're seeing this video right now, you're incredibly lucky.
Oh.
It's filling up fast, and this won't be around forever. Getting set up is incredibly fast and simple.
Incoming!
Just call the number on your screen, answer a few questions, and make sure your family is protected today.
That's enough out of you.
You ready to do that?
More rockets? A little excessive, don't you think?
It only takes a few minutes. Call 833-637-5800.
Yeah, what do you want me to do,
Is
Logan?
it National Rocket Day or something?
You got that?
Man, how did the bomb squad guys get through this? Settle down. I've got enough for everybody.
Here, do that.
I can't touch him if he's in the air.
Hear that?
It's clear. Bomb squad must be somewhere ahead. Hope they're okay. You guys all right?
We were just about to call for backup.
I think I'm it.
Lead the way. We'll be right behind you. Heads up, boss.
And
So you guys were in bed with Fisk all along? Oh, no, I'll never get that image out of my head.
okay.
So your plan didn't work. On to plan B, getting kicked in the face.
Focus bar full.
Hey, Yuri. Looks like some of your guys were on Fisk's payroll. Good news is, they were Willie's last line of defense. I'm right outside his office.
Take him down, now.
With pleasure.
But it is a healthy option than what you get out of sport.
Wait, why can't I? Oh.
It can still keep it better
Yeah, why can't I open this door?
than what you get.
There.
It's but you can't afford. You can't afford this stuff. They can't get their profit off of our a la carte stuff.
Writing your memoirs? Don't forget the hyphen between spider and man.
Get the chopper. I won't be
All of
long.
our a la carte, like the fabulous chips
I'm
and
surprised you made it this far,
cookies and ice cream, whatever.
but your foolishness ends now.
You do know I can still see you, right?
8 years of this insolence.
Oh, for me? You shouldn't have. Gotta wait for an opening. It's reloading. Okay, now!
How is this happening?
What's wrong, Willie? You seem angry.
We'll destroy you!
Take your best shot. There's be an opening.
There you go.
You're out of your depth, boy!
Not this time.
Something I said.
You got that.
You're losing, Willie.
I haven't even started trying!
Okay.
Tiresome annoyance!
Hang in there. We'll be over soon.
Oh.
You are everything that's wrong with this city!
Huh. I was gonna say the same to you.
You know what to do, man!
Surround it. Everyone engage.
Oh.
You fools!
He's too bad.
I don't want excuses! What do I pay you for?
That's what Kingpin can live. Stick to fire.
No! I can handle myself!
You're gonna have a bad day.
So that.
Where are the reinforcements?
No, boss.
Get this.
Your head.
Yeah.
Shiny.
Impressive!
Okay, this.
God damn you. I planned this!
You asked for it.
Okay. Okay, I got that. Okay, did it.
So, should we kiss now? Yeah, maybe later.
This ice color, no distracting glare. I finally feel seen, and I look magnificent, baby. Magnificent. This dude gets it.
The Samsung Metro RGB TV. See it for yourself at Best Buy.
Finally off to Rikers, huh? You know, I think you've got more enemies in there than I do.
You think this will be more than a minor inconvenience?
Whoop, gotta go. Hey, good luck, Willie. I have a feeling you're gonna need it.
Idiots! I'm the one who kept order in this city! 1 month! In 1 month you'll wish you had me back!
Okay, knocking down Kingpin.
Panera. I think I should celebrate. Maybe take a vacation.
Yeah. Level 1, level 2. Health increase. Do that.
Parker, where are you? Soon. We need to run an equipment check.
I'm almost there.
Okay.
Blocks away.
Guess I'll just do it myself.
No, don't. It's not safe. Gotta love Doc's enthusiasm, but sometimes it gets him into trouble. Better get there before he hurts himself.
That. Oh, hi. Hi, high school. Hi, makers. Hey, Maggie. Okay, let me do that.
I'm sorry I'm late.
I'm really running out of chances now. I hope I can get enough points to win the gym. Let's see what's the number 9. Oh, it's like shiny? What? Wait, is that against you?
Started without me.
The grant committee's director will be here soon. It's fine, Parker. I invented this equipment. I think I can handle it.
Power damper. Man. Maybe we should abort.
Not yet.
Hold on! Dr. Davis, are you okay?
Another setback. But we're close.
Is anyone hurt?
No, it was all my fault.
The energy levels exceeded our expectations. From a certain viewpoint, that's a very positive development.
It doesn't smell very positive.
I assure you, in the next phase.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Is there somewhere else we can discuss this?
Maybe you should take the rest of the day off, Peter. But we'll talk later.
That was a disaster. How could the dampener have failed? I know Doc said... You're in bad shape, little guy.
No, that's good. Hey.
Let's see what's wrong with you.
Octavius Angels.
Circuit burned out. Damn it. If I had been here to do the pre-check, I would have caught this.
Do that.
But I think you need the point. Well, that means I'm wondering that if the last product actually does make you get wall splits to the ground, I'll take you because I don't think that's possible. Oh, it's gonna happen.
Got it.
There.
Smaller than I expected.
Okay, need to reroute server
There's
control.
no way that this can make you do a wall split, whatever it is. I know exactly what these are. You know what it is? Those are definitely gonna make you be able to do wall splits. No way, it looks like a giant like turf or something. This does not even look like a gymnastics turf. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna win. There's no way that this is going to make you do a wall split. Like you literally have to go on the wall.
Remove. Remove.
That is going to make you go all the way down. These are gonna do it. And right now I'm in the lead, so if it doesn't work, and I get to keep the win, it's gonna work. There's no chance. Alright, Anna, I did it. I see what you were going with, like using the practical skill, but this is not the same skill. No, I cannot get it.
In it.
No way. I like yours. I don't think that's a wall split. Like, it's not. Gymnastics. We need to see what the judge thinks right there.
Okay, I thought about it a lot, and honestly, you're almost as equal. I've never seen anybody do
That.
it like that, and I thought those were great legs. But I don't think, looking back at it, that it was the same exact pose, so even though it was a hard decision, Anna, I think you got that point.
Well, that means you can run gymnastics without dance products, but Michaela, you can still come in and try to get any time.
Okay, do that.
This is the smallest gymnast, and this is the world's strongest man. They're to compete in gymnastics, strength, and flexibility challenges. Yell for the winner will be facing off me. Round 1, a weighted race. The world's strongest man is getting in 100-pound weight. Wait, does that actually really happen?
Do that, and then this, and that.
Nice. Okay, next.
So, is this the last one?
Now rebalance the voltage.
Okay, that, and then
flexibility versus strength power. Since Mona is super strong and Slaya is one of the most flexible kids I've ever met, this round could go either way.
do that.
They will need to copy a skill in one of these two.
Finished.
Do that. Okay. Success.
Let's see if that worked. Good as new.
Yep.
Doc's been testing new materials for the prosthetics. He asked me to review his work if I had time. Might as well dig in now.
Alright, other job. Okay, this. Analyzer, no substance
I
found.
was testing a new contact material for the prosthetic.
And that. And that. Pattern found.
Hydrogel polymer composite. Strong, but there's a lot of impedance. Better tell Doc to keep looking for other materials. Alright,
Okay, time for over here.
get out of here before I screw things up for Doc even more.
Alright, other job complete.
Spider-Man, it's Yuri.
Fisk make it to Rikers yet?
Not Rikers. Our boy qualifies for the VIP treatment. He's in the raft.
Ah, joining
Okay.
Scorpion, Electro, and the rest. Fisk should be honored. That's a steamed company.
Can you sweep by the precinct? Got an issue that could benefit from your unique skill set.
For you, Yuri, anything. I'm on my way. Huh. Looks like Jameson's got a new episode out. Wonder what my #1 fan thinks about the Fisk takedown.
is Just the Facts with J. Jonah Jameson, where listeners like you discuss the issues affecting our city with Pulitzer Prize winning two-time Pulitzer Prize winning former publisher of the Daily Bugle. Hey, plug the book. And as always, if you order Mr. Jameson's book, Spider-Man, Threat or Menace, within 24 hours of our broadcast, you'll get an autographed copy at no extra charge. No personalization, don't ask, not gonna get it.
Okay.
Welcome to Just the
Guys, I
Facts.
will play on Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Alerting you to the threats you don't even know
Then,
about.
not
Let's dive
today,
right into the
but
call.
tomorrow.
You gotta give Spider-Man respect for
It might be tomorrow.
Is that right? Tell me, are you a police
Oh.
officer? Prosecutor? Maybe an
Now that you quit smoking, what do you tell people when you come up here?
That I need a break from their crap.
Fair enough. So, why'd you call? Need a date to the policeman's ball?
You got a black and white suit? No ball this year anyway. We spent too much integrating Oscorp surveillance tech.
Worth it though, right?
It was. Till an hour ago. System. Citywide. Every tower. Tell me someone sabotaged the central server, and now all the towers are offline.
Inside job?
Maybe. We'll figure it out later. Right now, we need to get the towers back on. Fast.
You called me? Oh, that's sweet.
I called someone I could trust. Plus, the signals are scrambled and we have no idea how to fix it.
Ooh. I love a challenge.
You break it, you buy it.
I thought you trusted me. Let's take a look at this tower. Input bands have been shifted. Subtle.
Hey?
We just had a tower come back online. Was that you?
Not just a pretty mask, huh?
Whatever you did, any chance you could do it to the other towers?
Sure, but just so you know, I had to sync up with the tower to fix it. I'm seeing all crime data in the area now. Looks like there's a break-in happening near me.
Great. I've got units nearby.
Don't bother. I'm on it.
Do it. Watch my back.
What do you want here? Double shade. That's not it. Bumble and say. Bundle with an N. Bumble and say.
Pretty sure these guys didn't forget their keys.
You know, this was not. Only pay for what you need.
Can't do that. Okay, that was fast.
Okay, wrapped up.
Thanks for that. Now I'm seeing an assault near you.
You're in luck, Yuri. Your favorite tough but lovable, grizzled, seen-too-much detective is in town.
What? No. You promised you wouldn't do that any...
Spider Cop.
Please, no.
So you're the snitch.
Back off, creep.
Yep, she's the one.
I said back off! Leave me alone!
Keep it quiet.
Don't touch me!
Get away from her!
Oh, I remember that guy. Okay, that's no fair, dude. Do that, and then Okay, got that.
Walk away now, or she's dead.
Let me go!
I glitched him on.
I knew Jameson was wrong about you. You're a little weird, but you got a good heart.
Have you got somewhere to go?
I can take care of myself.
I'm sure you can, but just in case, there's a place called the Feast Center.
Seen it. I don't want charity.
They got the best wheat cakes in the city, hands down.
Mom used to make those. Haven't had any in a long time. I'll check it out. Thanks, Spider Guy.
It's Spider-Man. No. Should be able to spot the next tower from up there.
Okay.
From his elevated position, Spider Cop spies his destination. A second surveillance tower.
Are you narrating yourself?
What? No! Of course not! The Chief never did understand Spider Cop. Thought he was a loose cannon.
Already regretting this.
Okay.
I can modify these towers to
Here,
track more than
tower.
just crimes.
That was fast.
Score. Towers are picking up all kinds of RFID signals now, including one nearby. What is that?
Here. Nope.
Oh, wow. One of my old backpacks from high school. Forgot I attached tracking dots to these. Wonder how many of these are scattered around the city.
There's a lot scattered around. But where am I gonna go?
Still there? Got a robbery a few blocks away.
Spider Cop's on it. Part man, part spider, all cop.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Open the safe. Do it.
Hey, fellas.
Ah! Spider-Man! Shoot him!
You can do that.
More of them? Guys, if you worked this hard at a legit job, you wouldn't need to be criminals.
Okay. There. How can...
I'm gonna repair the last Chinatown tower now.
Don't you mean Spider Cop's gonna repair it?
Been doing a little thinking, Yuri. Policing's a young man's game. Spider Cop? Well, he's no spring chicken.
Please be going where I think you're going.
As of today, Spider Cop is officially retired.
Oh, thank God. I need a drink.
We'll all drink tonight, Yuri. Drink to the memory of Spider Cop's tireless...
Here you go.
Yuri? Yuri, you there? Guess the emotion of the moment overwhelmed her.
Okay. Get up here.
math lessons on TikTok. I went from a class of 30 to teaching billions. Now I get comments from teens who want to be teachers, engineers, students who finally get it. And parents, grandparents, even teachers, all finding new ways to connect with math.
Not good. Can't have people taking pictures of my 3 chest hairs. Tools I need for suit repair in the lab. I wonder if Dr. Octavius is left for the day.
Because no matter where you're living, premium, personalized care is what turns moments
Okay.
into adventures.
Doctor, how did it go with the committee? I'm so sorry I screwed things up.
Not at all, Peter. They're just nervous in the face of imminent triumph. They'll calm down. They always do.
Should I head back to the lab for cleanup?
No. I'm stepping out for dinner anyhow. We'll resume tomorrow. Short break, then back to creating the future.
Wish I could bottle and sell that man's optimism. Sounds like he's left the lab for the day. Good time to work on my suit in private.
Want to record with you? I'm not sure. It just depends. Okay. There you go.
Looks like Doc's gone for the night. Time to sneak in some spider work. We're trying to improve the prosthetics hardware. I should review what Doc's been developing and double check his work.
Yeah, I don't want to do that right now, but I might come back and do that later. Okay, there.
Parker! Dr. Octavius! What you got there?
Chinese. If I know you'd be here, I would... What are you working on?
Oh, just a side project. Of course. It's you. I don't know what you're...
Come on, Parker, it's obvious.
Let me explain. I really wish you'd told me sooner. I wanted to. But I was afraid that if word got out, my family might be in danger.
Yes. I guess if you design his equipment, you're bound to be a target too.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Your secret's safe. Well, I'll leave you to it.
Get it in the fridge and then let it
Check your email. Onto.
Check your email. This isn't how Doc fires me.
Just... Oh, it's not funny. Looks like it.
Peter, the revelation of your second job as Spider-Man suit crafter, is that the right term? Is a reminder of the good man and partner you are. No matter how hard you work, you still find time to help others. I hope you don't mind, but I noticed the suit was a bit damaged, and I took the liberty of sketching up some of my own improvements. Attached are a few ideas I have on how you can enhance his suit, help protect Spider-Man, who does so much for the city. Looking forward to the incredible work that we are doing and changing the world together. Your partner and friend.
Yo.
White spider, huh?
Okay.
That should do it.
It's so funny that Matt picked this round because I actually did this challenge against Leia before, and last time the judge couldn't even decide who won.
Excuse me, paperwork! Come through! Hello, New York! Haha! New suit, same old me.
Okay, I'm not. Where am I going, anyways?
Yeah. Well, my mom
Investigate
gave me
construction site.
going bad bananas. And usually when she does it, I make banana muffins out of it.
Spider-Man, I think I figured out
That's
how
no
this
reason why.
man are keeping his
I know.
rackets running. Construction
Do you
site.
want banana
Wasn't that
muffins?
shut down when
Do
he
you
was
want
arrested?
chocolate chips in them or no?
No, it's one of his legitimate
Banana muffins,
businesses.
chocolate
Multiple
chips.
investors. We can't act without cause.
But now you've got that, right?
That's why I'm hoping you can keep an eye on the locations. Tell me if you see anything suspicious.
You got it. I'll be your nosy neighborhood Spider-Man.
Okay. Oh.
Attention all units. Assault in progress.
Wait, where am I going?
Mobilize on touchdown.
Yuri, I'm at a Fisk construction site, and there's a lot of guys here who aren't exactly constructing.
What are they doing?
I'm gonna go find out.
Huh. Just got a text from Doc. Looks like he attached an idea for a Spidey gadget. Man, does he ever stop inventing?
Hey, grab that.
Wow. This looks like it could work.
Let's see. Can't read this.
Awesome. Doc would be proud.
Another question. Do you want me to make them?
Regular. I thought the boss killed him that one time. Maybe he did.
Even the rats are staying away.
Who's there? It's him!
Nap time.
Got him! You're gonna have a bad day. You don't regret that. It's Spider-Man. You know what to do. I'm tired of you. And so am I. You're faster than I. I'll shut your mouth permanently. You're gonna have a bad day. Ouch! Well, up his ass! Lucky shot.
Uh-oh. More of them.
Get down!
Spider-Man, turns out we've busted 4 illegal firearms dealers within a 3-block radius of that site.
Gun running. Let's see what I can do to cut down the supply.
I can't believe you're gonna have a bad day.
coming!
Your new suit comes with a suit powers. Suit powers give you special abilities. Your current suit power continuously builds focus. Once used, your suit power will regenerate over time.
Dang, looks like they called their buddies.
I'll teach you some respect!
Oh, hey, more guys. Welcome to the party. House rules. Leave your shoes at the door. Unless you're not wearing socks, in which case, buy some socks already.
He's airborne! That's not fair!
Anyone want to surrender? No?
What are we supposed to do against that? Run! That's gonna be fun! I'm in an ass-kicking mood! This is for the boss! I'll get him for you!
Yeah, no.
What are we supposed to do against that?
Yeah. Fisk hideout.
Place is locked down, Captain. Actually, webbed down.
And someone finally reported shots fired, so I've got officers inbound. Good work. Fisk has more construction sites throughout the city, betting their fronts too. Keep an eye out, and report in if you see anything suspicious.
If I'm gonna find all of Fisk's construction sites, I should recalibrate my mapping software to be more accurate. Using a depth-mapped post-process on photos of popular landmarks should do it. And I know just the one to start with.
Land marking. Okay, and you get over here.
As soon as you turn that on, this was laying on the floor and he was like...
Good old Empire State. Man, I love this town. Time to grab a snapshot.
Go.
Put your camera. Okay, aim your camera.
That'll do it. Map should be recalibrated now.
Yeah.
Haven't done much photography since quitting the Bugle. God, how much I enjoy it. Should keep an eye out for more landmarks to shoot.
Okay. Hi.
It's Mr. Lee. Hello?
Peter, it's Martin Lee. I just wanted to let you know we need a little extra time to get set for May's party. I guess the cake delivery is stuck in traffic.
Oh, sure thing. Just let me know when you're ready and I'll swing by.
Great. Talk to you soon.
Okay, got some time to kill. Let's see what's happening out in the city.
Over here!
Who wants a picture? Hi, Mr. Muggins. This is about the rent.
Mr. Parker, it's cold served, your third and final one. Eviction proceedings.
Wait, I get paid at the end of the week. I can...
Eviction proceedings will start Friday unless full payment is received by close of business. Good day.
Yeah, good day.
Okay, level up, level 4, level 5. Level 1 skill point, okay.
Hi, Mr. Lee.
Seriously, I want one. Hey, Peter, we're all set for the party whenever you're ready.
Cool, I'm on my way.
Oh, I'm going.
Attention units, drug deal reported. Need an officer to check it out. Please proceed to Bowery.
Yeah, here.
Now, where did I put my bag?
No, I don't want.
Mr. Lee's probably in the kitchen getting ready for the party.
What about my dog? Hey, Peter. Hey, Peter. What's up?
Okay.
Hey, Martin, so sorry I'm late.
You were right on time. Just keep her distracted while we get everything ready.
You got it. Hey, there's my favorite aunt.
Peter, what a nice surprise.
Need some help?
Yeah, sure. Oh, there are some heavy boxes.
No. I mean, not yet. I mean, I came to, I just wanted to talk.
Okay. Peter, are you in trouble? Do you need money?
No, I mean, I'm a little behind on my rent, but no, I'm fine.
Girl problems again, huh?
What? No, that's crazy.
I still wish you and MJ could work things out. She's a great girl.
She is.
The two of you would make some beautiful baby. Peter, what is it? Come on, you can tell me.
These past few years, you helping me through college and working here, sacrificing so much and asking for nothing. I just wish there were more people like you in the world.
He's right.
Oh, that was pretty.
5 years ago, you walked in here and told me you were inspired by my mission to help others. Now it's you who inspires me. Thank you, Nate, for everything. Here's to many more years of service.
Yeah, you could never. You tried. Right, Mommy?
Yeah.
But I feel like I need to learn how
Thanks
to
again for
walk.
setting all this up.
Oh, I just wish I could do more.
Well, May's always told me if you help someone,
You help everyone. Maybe we should send May to City Hall to have a word with the mayor.
For 5 years of service.
I gotta run. Thanks again for the party
Mommy,
and
you wanna
everything.
know how
It really
you
means a lot.
start? Mommy, you wanna know how you start? So you start like this.
Voicemail from Yuri. You should check it outside.
But you need to
Here,
take it easy.
here we go. Outside.
If you want to go up.
Yeah.
And not fall over like me.
Voicemail from Yuri.
Hey, silent alarm at the auction house holding Fisk's estate sale just tripped. Could you check it out? Quietly? I don't want to make a scene if it's nothing.
Fisk estate sale. Sounds fun. Wonder what the Kingpin had hidden in his closets.
When I stay up long, I
backup for a chase in progress. Please respond. Available officers, please proceed to Bryant. Over.
Okay, oh yeah.
Your vehicle is unregistered. You have no...
Please tell me your horn plays Dixie! Long time no see. Here's your stuff.
Here you go.
Well, that's just... Gotta give that wheelman props. Manhattan rush hour is no joke.
Oh.
Lift something heavy.
Peter, I lost track of you at the party.
Yeah, I had to get to the lab. Sorry.
Don't apologize. I just wanted to tell you how much what you said meant to me. I always wonder if I'm doing right by you.
Well, stop wondering. After losing my parents and Uncle Ben, there are so many times I would have fallen apart if not for you.
Well, that works both ways, Peter. I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
May, I don't know what to say.
Oh, I think Mr. Lee needs my help. I should go. See you soon, dear. I love you.
Love you too. Yuri said quietly. Better find a back way in.
Okay, get in through here. No, this has actually been going. It's been going on for an hour.
I am losing patience. Where is the file?
There's someone else here. They must have taken it.
Those masks. Who are these guys?
There's no one here but us. We will find the file, or you will die.
This is bad. They'll kill her if I alert them. Need to pick them off silently. Yuri, the silent alarm was legit. Masked gunmen and a single hostage. Looks like a heist in progress.
Copy that. Sending units your way. Keep the situation from getting worse in the meantime.
Can do. Gotta do this quietly. Don't want to alert the others.
There you go, that.
They always look so cozy whipped up like that. Should web him from above. Whoa, careful. You stay quiet now. Someone's coming.
Okay, you got that.
Where's the thing?
Okay, go.
What else is here?
Go over here.
She must have the file.
If they're here, where are they? 眼睛睁大点，有开了。
That
东西。继续吧。
Hey, what is that?
Okay. Wait, a camera?
This totally belongs to...
Don't move.
Buddy, if I had a nickel for every don't move...
Hey, Pete.
MJ? What are you doing here?
Same as you. Working. At least, I was.
Oh, I think this is yours.
Yeah, thanks.
So, Robbie's got you covering a break-in for the Bugle?
Well, Robbie doesn't technically know I'm here. And it wasn't a break-in until a few minutes ago.
Uh-huh?
Let me explain.
"15 minutes earlier."
Excuse me.
Hi, Mary Jane Watson. I'm covering the Fisk estate sale.
Hello. Craig said we'd do this tomorrow.
I like to get a jump on things.
Well, I don't. You'll have to come back tomorrow.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. Hey, Craig? No, sorry. It looks like we're gonna have to run something else on the cover. I don't know. Maybe the expressionist piece?
You know what? I think I can make today work. Are you sure? You're here. No moment like the present.
Thank you. Craig? Never mind. We're good.
Let's get started. Look around and familiarize yourself with the items. I'll be waiting by the Baku statue when you're ready to begin.
Can do.
Katana, 14th century. Katana blade attributed to
collapsed in my yard half dead, and I had to steal my dad's car to drive him to the ER.
in early 19th
There's too many
century.
Nurse MJ moments. Too many.
Hand rolled cigars, 20th century.
Weren't they just in the
brother
news?
of never mind
Sometimes
either,
I
but you guys
feel
can
like
pause
the
it if you
whole
want to read
history
it.
of the world is just boys
Once
playing
this
dress
live
up,
stream is
getting
over.
into fights.
Let me know when you're ready to begin.
Sounds good.
I'm going to talk to the owner.
Crimes to life. We got an old school investigative journalist over here. I like her.
Remember to get a photo.
Did you know him well before his arrest?
In a professional context. I handled many of his sales. Let's move on, please. Now, this exquisite piece exemplifies the traditional Tarashikomi puddle ink effect.
The two Neo are so imposing.
Yeah, did you get that?
I can see why Fisk liked this piece. Definitely his style.
He loved the duality. Destruction screams, but creation toils in silence.
Was there ever anything irregular in any of the sales you handled for him?
No. No, of course not. Not that I was aware of. Notice the intricate gold inlay on this ceremonial tea set.
It's just a friend in the DA's office mentioned that Fisk used art sales to launder stolen goods.
I'm sure I wouldn't know anything about that.
Oh, I know. I was just wondering, now that he's arrested, if you had ever noticed anything strange.
You know what? I'm actually running short of time. Why don't we grab the cover photo while we can?
When I told my DA friend I was doing a piece on you, he mentioned your name was familiar.
Just the photo, please. Stand right there.
Are you sure there's nothing you'd like to say, maybe off the record, regarding Fisk's activities?
I don't think your readers would have any interest in... Damn it. Wait here, please.
Can't go in now. Wait. I recognize that statue. Gotta get a photo. That shouldn't be here.
Hello? Craig? Can you hear me? The connection is awful.
Okay,
Craig, I'll call you back. My dear, I think it's time for you to go.
Oh, could I use the restroom real quick?
Fine. Follow me.
Thank you. This is a really lovely space.
It is. And this will be the last time you see it. The ladies is around the corner. Be quick.
Of course. Be right back.
Hello, Craig. Funny you should call. Because the reporter you sent is clearly not working the puff piece we agreed upon. No, she's here now.
I've got to get into that back room. If that statue is what I think it is, this just turned into a huge storm.
What do you mean he had to reschedule? If she's not your reporter, who is she, Craig? Who is in my auction house? Oh my God. No, I do not trust you to fix this. Well, the first thing I'm going to... Hold on. Was that?
Pete told me about this. Fisk used it to hide evidence. Why didn't the cops take it? I know this statue opens. But how? I wonder if there are any clues in here.
Okay, I'm gonna go in here. Damn it.
The statue can move. Most common pose is latent power. Mouth closed, left arm down, right palm facing forward.
Okay.
Maybe these pieces move.
Oh, I gotta look. Okay.
The catalog mentioned 2 poses. Mouth closed, left arm down, right palm facing forward.
We've made it to our final 2, and your last round is to come up with a gymnastics routine of everything you just learned. Well, there are a couple of different teams. It's fun to see who wins the boys versus girls competition. The first to make it from these cones, bend over the mat, and touch the trophy wins. Ready, set, go. The girls team is going. You want to go your trophy? It looks like the girls team might win. Wait, she's off. I don't know if she's going there. She's looking in the wrong direction. Oh, no, she's going the wrong way. There's no way she's going to make it to the trophy. She keeps going that way.
Mouth closed, left arm down, right palm facing forward.
So mouth closed, left arm down.
The catalog mentioned 2 poses. Mouth closed, left arm down, right palm facing forward.
Left arm down.
Maybe I should turn the head. Nice. So close. But a piece is missing.
The piece is missing.
Mouth closed, left arm down, right palm facing forward. I've seen these before. That's not right.
Yeah, that's not right.
Fits, but it's not the right one.
That's not the right one. Okay, so then it gotta be this one.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, no. So, oh, now I feel like it's this one. Imagine it's the last one that I just put in.
Fits, but it's not the right one.
Not the right one? What do you mean? It's the last one. Are you kidding me?
That's it.
Why did it
Norman Osborn. What is this? Devil's breath. What is devil's... What the...
Excuse me, sir. You can't be...
Not good.
Where's the statue?
In there.
把文件找出来。
I was on my way to the exit when I saw you.
You're lucky to be alive.
Is this the guy I saved 5 minutes ago? Listen, whoever these masked guys are, they're after this file. But I'll never get it out of here while the place is swarming with them.
Right. Okay, you hide back there. I take out the bad guys. You make a break when it's clear.
Sounds like a plan. Good to see you, Pete.
Yeah, you too. Not exactly how I pictured us meeting again, though.
Funny. It's exactly how I pictured it.
Did she change her perfume? Focus, Pete, focus.
Okay.
Of course.
Should clear these guys out before I push forward.
Please, don't hurt me.
Okay, Pete. I'm hidden near the front. Give the word and I'll make a break for it.
Will do. How about that file? What's in it that these guys want so bad?
Notes on something called Devil's Breath. Fisk was hired to build a secret research lab for it. Not clear what
There.
Gotta stay silent. There we go.
There's gotta be one over here then. No. Oh.
Keep it tight, Pete.
Okay.
Easy does it.
Here.
Okay, room is clear. enough.
The same must learn.
One room at a time. Clear this out before I continue. That's all of them.
Let me go!
MJ.
Stop!
No. Hide! Not cool with the hostage taking, guys. Whoa, what is up with that glowy stuff on your hands? Are you guys ghosts? Never fought a ghost before.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, there.
Daily cardio? Check. Huh. Looks antique. I think I know someone who could help track down where this came from. A job for later.
I just talked to Craig. You are not the reporter he was sending. You don't even work for Heritage Arts. Never said I did. Hi, Mary Jane Watson, Daily Bugle. You will not write a word of what you saw
For the
here.
record, what do you know about the file those masked men stole?
That... I don't...
What about the long history of stolen goods Fisk has laundered at this auction house?
Your editor will be hearing from our attorney.
But you should make more vids on this than lives. Man,
Mix.
love lives, but I
Like the
can't-
last 6 months
I
never
should always
happened.
do live. Sure, see you in a few.
Since when did Mix become Italian?
No idea, but I'm still glad he makes these fries.
Totally. Best in city.
So, how's the grind at the Bugle?
Well, I just got an all-caps text from Robbie about my so-called antics tonight. So it looks like I'll be meeting with the legal team. Again.
As soon as he reads the article you're gonna write, guaranteed promotion.
So, creepy mask guys. What's your take?
Just another night in the city. What's your take?
I feel like there's a bigger story there. Let's not make this all about business.
How's it going with you? Did you get that promotion?
No, but we're on the cusp of something really big.
You know Oscorp would hire you in a heartbeat, right? One phone call to hear.
Sure, but Dr. Octavius' work will help millions. I'm right where I want to be, right where I should be.
Almost sounds like it's more important than your other job. I've never heard you talk like that before.
A lot can change in 6 months.
Why did you ask me here, Pete?
Oh, just
I mean,
dinner
they
between
are
friends.
good.
Friends. Is that what we are?
Maybe we could be, you know, if that's what you wanted.
There's a lot of baggage here.
Yeah, sure, but is that so bad? I mean, baggage can carry good things too, like money and keys, raspberry lip balm.
Do you remember why we broke up?
This is a trick question, isn't it?
Saved by the siren.
Talk to you later.
Go.
Love seeing you two together again. You always were my favorites.
Hey, it's me. What's with the units heading down 3rd?
Looks like our old friend Herman Schultz is at it again.
Shocker. Didn't he just get paroled?
Yeah, well, guess it didn't take.
No worries. Herman's just a big cupcake. I'll have him back in Rikers by bedtime. Just had dinner with my ex after saving her from masked criminals. And now I'm gonna go beat up a maniac who uses shockwaves to rob people. What a perfectly normal life you have, Peter Parker.
Peter, I just want to make sure you haven't left any equipment you've built for your friend around the lab. It's no bother to me, but if the grant committee stops by again...
Don't worry, Doc. I make a point not to leave anything there. But I know my friend appreciates you looking out for him. There's a lot of people who don't like him very much.
That buffoon Jameson and his audience of sheep, please. The people who do great things in this world are those who don't let bullies like him stand in their way. People like us.
You said a mouthful, Doc. Take care.
Attention units, drug deal reported. Need an officer to check it out. Officers near Bowery, please respond.
Wait, what is this mission?
Hi, Herman.
Seriously?
There you go.
You're never gonna catch me.
That's what you said last time.
I don't want to hurt you. You'll just slow me down.
Wow, that's considerate. What's the money for, Herman?
Why do you care?
Actually, I don't. Just trying to make polite conversation.
I'm done talking.
But this could be so much more rewarding if we connected on an emotional level. Wait, I forgot. You don't have it. Gotcha. Now let's talk.
I said I'm done talking.
Noted. Honestly, Herman, why are you robbing again? You know the police are watching your every move. I mean, we all know you're kind of dumb, but I didn't think you were this dumb. You must be desperate, which means you're not just stealing for yourself. You must be working with someone, or for someone. You can tell me who it is now, or make me punch it out of you later. Your choice.
Shut enough.
Can you get that?
You know what, Herman? You have like zero personality, but your suit is awesome. Can we talk design details? Maybe later.
Good work, Spider-Man. Did you learn anything about his motive?
I tried, but he's not very talkative. Plus, I think he hates me.
You have that effect on a lot of people.
But you love me, right, Yuri?
I tolerate you.
Wow. That might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Looks like I got some free time. Maybe now's a good time to look into that mask.
Head 2 feet. The
Oh,
mask.
it's MJ.
Head 2 feet. Okay.
Hey, MJ. You're up late.
Just catching up on the news. Looks like you had quite an adventure with Shocker tonight.
Yeah, he was unusually combative. Anyway, thanks again for dinner. What do I owe you?
How about a favor? You still have that mask from the gallery?
Yeah, I'm actually on my... Almost morning. Mr. Lee will be here soon. I could use a snack.
I think that's the way it works. Let's open this prize. Let's open my first prize. Currently deciding which group would keep their spots on the team. Okay, so you all have amazing jokes, but we could only pick one group, and we went with...
Back at
Mr.
feet.
Lee's usually in his office now.
Your guys' subjects will start playing sick, and great job on this round. Now it's time to do some stunts. Okay, guys, next we're going to be doing stunts, and one stunt group will have a guaranteed spot on the team. So, we're going to line up like this. Flyers over here, spaces over here, back spots over here, so that way we can make some groups. Okay, guys. While the cheer team forms their stunt groups, let's see what's in my surprise. I'm so curious what's inside this. It looks like we have...
Peter, what can I do for you?
I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Lee. I have a friend, Mary Jane. She's a reporter. She's doing a story on art imports, and she found this piece. She wanted an expert opinion on it, and I know you have a degree.
And this might be the first time I actually get to use it. And see what you have. Interesting. Where'd she find it?
I'm really not sure. What is it?
Replica of an antique Chinese opera mask. I haven't seen one in years. This symbol here roughly translates to demon.
Demon?
My father read me ghost stories with that mask and symbol in it when I was young. Scared the hell out of me. Peter, listen. That mask, it could be connected to dangerous people. Mary Jane might want to find a different story.
Do you think she's in trouble?
I don't know. Why take the risk?
Okay.
Hey.
The symbol inside the mask means demon. It really spooked Mr. Lee. Never seen him like that. He even said you should drop the story.
Fat chance. Do you think Mr. Lee knows more than he's letting on?
No, I think he just had a weird flashback or something. I know his childhood was pretty traumatic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, here,
Demons, huh? Catchy name. Okay, gotta get writing. See you soon.
Well, that went about as well as I could have hoped.
The mask complete.
Got some time to kill before Doc needs me at the lab. Let's do a little Spidey workout in the city.
All units be advised, break-in in progress. Incident is active in Dutchtown. Over.
Those guys are already breaking. I better stop the entry. Man, Fisk goes away and suddenly it's amateur hour.
Quit playing around. I thought today was gonna go.
This is...
Peter, Mr. Lee spoke to me. He seemed worried. Are you into something dangerous?
Oh, it's just a story Mary Jane's investigating. Don't worry, I'll make sure she's careful.
Please tell me you two are back together.
Yeah.
We're talking again. Baby steps. I hope I didn't upset Mr. Lee.
He's just concerned. I was actually touched by how concerned. I really liked you. He admires how dedicated you are to helping others. I think you remind him of himself when he was younger. Both orphans, both so smart.
Well, the admiration's mutual. You got a good boss, May.
I'll tell him you said so. Love you, Peter.
Hello?
Peter, it's Dr. Octavius.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Lance Corporal Texador is here for a fitting.
I totally forgot. I didn't forget. I'll be there soon.
This tardiness is starting to become a pattern. Come on, Parker. You're better than this.
He's right. How did I lose track of time?
All units, we've got a commercial robbery in progress. Officers needed south of Houston.
You're almost there. As of this means I might end the live stream. That.
How does it work? Just like a natural arm. You think of what you want it to do, and...
Yes. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
This site's been declared a safety hazard.
Stop that right now! This is highly sensitive equipment. That's it. I'm calling the mayor's office directly.
Peter Parker, how the hell are you?
Speak of the devil.
Mr. Osborn.
Oh, please. How long have we known each other? It's Mr. Mayor. It's Norman. Norman!
Norman, what do you think you're doing?
The grant agreement you signed has strict safety provisions. This isn't your first violation.
Those were excused.
By me. We should have confiscated this equipment long ago.
But I've had a breakthrough.
Thank you for your great service to our country. These folks will escort you to Oscorp Robotics, where you'll receive the latest in prosthetics. No charge.
This isn't about safety infractions, is it?
I'm trying to help you, Otto. You're free to continue your work in a secure environment.
At Oscorp.
You always were the smartest guy in the room.
You haven't changed a bit.
Neither of you. Hey, Peter. Harry will be coming back from Europe early next year. Maybe the two of you can start that business you always talked about. This is opportunity knocking.
Easy. They didn't take everything. Maybe we could start over.
Peter, there's no we. Without the grant from the city, I can no longer pay you. I need some time to think. If I were you, I'd look for a new job.
I guess I'll play for a tiny
Wish I
bit
could
longer.
do something to help Doc. Maybe call Harry. Ask him to talk to his dad. No. Norman never listens to Harry. Even tried to kill funding for his research stations. Hey, of those stations is nearby. Should see how they're doing while Harry's in Europe. Must be some way to help Doc. I'll think of something. Harry left me a message about these before he left for Europe.
Pete, hey, I need a favor. My mom's pet project was research stations that could benefit the public. Now, I launched them, but now that I'm away, Oscorp's gonna shut them down unless they prove their value. I was hoping you could watch them. I left details in each one. Thanks, man. As long as they're here, it's like a part of my mom is, too.
Well, it's not gonna pay the bills, but it sounds like it means a lot to him. I'll do what I can to help.
I've got a couple stations measuring air pollution. The idea is to catch the, what's the word, contaminants before they reach toxic levels. Between you and me, I think Oscorp wants this to fail because it might show they're polluting.
The amount of polycyclic hydrocarbons in the air is way too high. And rising. If it keeps getting worse, people could die. The particles are concentrating in trouble spots, like mini clouds of smog. I'll swing through them and get samples, then trace them to the source.
And remember, help me, okay? When you're all done.
Nasty as they are, I gotta swing right through those clouds. For these clouds to be visible to the naked eye, the level of toxins must be up there. And gotcha! I'm getting some good stuff. Well, good samples of bad stuff, anyway. Got it. Oh! Feels like I'm breathing from a tailpipe. I must be freaking these people out.
Yep.
What else is new?
I know.
Huh.
No, this is the first Spider-Man game.
Two
This is
types
the
of cars
first Spider-Man.
and a faulty smokestack. I better get photos.
Yeah, I will eventually once I get it. Yeah. I don't have Spider-Man 2. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Or, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Great light on that one. Perfect.
Hey, Dog Day, can you invite Maggie to call? I'll show you how to put a link on your YouTube channel for your Discord for your fans.
Best smokestack picture I ever took. The Department of Environmental Protection will take it from here. Maybe I should make a green spider costume for Earth Day. Well, Harry Station just stopped a public health crisis. Oscorp's gonna have a hard time arguing it's not useful.
Okay, after this mission, I think I might end the live stream here.
Spider-Man, Shocker has escaped, and now he's robbing a bank on East 31st.
What happened? I thought he was behind bars.
He was, but one of the guards just walked up to his cell and released him, then gave him his suit back.
I knew Shocker was working for someone. What did you get out of the guard?
Wish I could ask him, but he's dead. Whoever made him release Shocker didn't want any loose ends.
Damn.
Looking at the security footage, the guard was in some kind of trance.
Guys, I will play Spider-Man Miles
lighting,
Morales.
but it looked like his eyes were glowing.
Because I'm almost done with that game.
Okay, I'll see what I can get out of Shocker when I get to the bank.
But tomorrow I might finish up the game.
Officers respond. Witness report of an active drug deal.
Not right now, I'm busy.
Herman! Long time no see. Hey, I'm no lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that's a parole violation. Oops, guess we're stuck in here for a while. Want to play 20 questions? No? How about we thumb wrestle? Okay, face punch it is. Whoa! Your gauntlets are all digital now, aren't they?
Have it your way. You wanna fight? Let's fight!
Man, can't wait to put you back behind bars so we can talk science. Remember our first fight? Me so young and stupid, you just stupid.
You talk too much!
Well, that's a matter of opinion. I mean, are there any standard metrics for how much talking one should do? And who determines the ideal ratio of talking versus not talking? Also, how would you measure? Words per minute? Syllables per second? Or is it more about how many words one uses to express a single thought? It's also subjective. If you ask me, some people don't talk enough. Like about who their mysterious overlord is. The person they're working for, that kind of thing. Nope, we gotta try something else. I think that hurt me more than him. Isn't that working? Coming your way! Okay, now I can do some real damage. Why are you doing this, Herman?
Because if I don't, they'll kill me!
Oh, now I think I know how to beat this thing.
Catch! You come clean, I can help you!
You really want to help me? Just let me have the money!
Sorry, not gonna happen. You know, people don't use banks anymore. You're lucky you found actual cash. If you really want to rob banks, try day trading. It's all the rage. Wait. Oh, no! Oh, come on, Herman! You tell me who you're working for. I can help you cut a deal.
If I talk, I'm dead! They made that very clear! Quit now, for your own good!
This one's gonna hurt. You're freaking me out, Herman. It's not like you to be afraid of people.
Not even sure these guys are people! Could be anything under those masks!
Wait, did you say masks?
Give up before you really get hurt!
Okay.
Okay, catch this one with your face! These mask guys! What do they want the money for?
Don't know! Don't care! As soon as I finish the job, I'm gone!
Give up now and we can protect you!
No way! You ain't see what I see! You son of a...
Okay, last chance to give up! This time I really mean it!
Quit moving! Stand still!
If you ask nicely, maybe! Okay, I was kidding before. Now is your last chance. Seriously. Sorry, Herman. You brought this on yourself. Literally. Man, he was scared and desperate. These demons are everywhere all of a sudden.
So guys, I'm gonna end
Okay,
the live stream
Shocker's
here.
all yours now.
Good work. We have a special cell waiting for him at the raft. We'll make sure he stays behind bars this time.
Also, I'm pretty sure he was working for the Demon Gang.
Demon Gang? Sounds like a Daily Bugle headline.
Hey, the Bugle is a perfectly fine news organization.
Not sure I'd call it news.
Well, I've heard they have some really good reporters. Anyway, have you had any more reports on demon, guys with masks?
Let me get back to you. By the way, how much of a mess did you make inside that bank?
You probably don't want to know.
Shouldn't have asked.
The fight with Shocker took a while. Time to catch up on what I've been missing out in the city.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Make sure to like and subscribe. And see you all next time. Make sure to smile every day. Bye.